Hey guys, welcome back. Adventures with Dr. Joe. If you click subscribe and like, it helps the channel a lot. Hey, this is the metal cutting bandsaw that I purchased a number of months ago, and it works very well. We got the coolant system working, we got the proper coolant in there, but it's incredibly heavy, and I've got a couple issues with it. This is incredibly heavy when you lift it, and when you're tipping it to move it, we're getting the coolant leaking and dripping on the floor. It's like, that's not great. So I wanted to make a base for this. I'll show you the other reason a base is going to be very helpful and prevent a real big accident from occurring. This bandsaw works horizontal and vertical. When you move it into the vertical position, you can put a nice table here, and it works as a vertical bandsaw, but it becomes incredibly heavy on this end. And if you tip this up at all, it immediately flips over, and it's very dangerous. So I wanted to build a base that had an extension on that side that's going to make this much safer and keep this from tipping over. And if a base has casters, I can move it and keep the same orientation, and it should completely stop that coolant leak. I had a great idea. When this arrived, this was part of the crate or container that it came in, and I thought, man, why don't I just use this to make a base for this? And I think that's what we're going to do. So when the base came, it had these supporting structures that I cut off with a grinder, just like that. Then I ground these areas to make them nice and smooth. Wire brushed the entire frame and painted it black. Now I've got some of these casters with a 1/2 inch stem. I thought I'll drill a hole in each corner, and I believe there's enough rigidity in this and strength that it's going to serve as an adequate base. When drilling a large diameter hole in steel, it's best to do it in steps. So I'm starting with a small drill bit. It's a split point drill bit. It's a Metabo bit. I've got a wooden backer for it. And I punched a hole. I punched a dimple with my set. So we went through the first layer of steel here. Put a little more tap magic in there. This stuff is great. There we are, right all the way through the wood. So the pilot hole is drilled. Now we'll go gradually up the ladder, making the hole larger and larger until we hit the 1/2 inch, which is what we need for the stem of the casters. So we'll go from 5/30 seconds to 7/30 seconds. Take your time. This is what can break drill bits. Be sure your chuck is tight. There we go. So we'll do that on all 4 corners and continually step up. Now we're going to go up to 9/30 seconds. Chuck tight. High speed, slow feed. Wow, there you go, really quick. Good drill bits. We'll keep going up to a 1/2 inch. Well, we've got our holes drilled. Again, this is a 1/2 inch stem, and this nut is a 13/16, but it's not very tall. So this is a good opportunity to use these really thin wrenches. Otherwise, the thick wrenches won't let you tighten this properly, which is frustrating. So we'll put this in. We'll have a lock washer and a nut. We'll do this on all 4 corners, and we'll tighten these up. So we want the casters with the locks in the front where they're really accessible And then the casters without the locks, they're going to go in the back. And again, a lock washer and a nut. This is a 3/4 inch nut fitting on this 1/2 inch fine thread spindle. And again, a 13/16 nut on the bottom of these. And we just tighten them up. Then we're going to lift up the bandsaw, see if we can set it down here, and then these 4 holes will line up and we can bolt them. We can bolt the bandsaw onto the base. A quick comment: when you're drilling your holes, be sure you've got adequate clearance for your ratchet, or else you'll be frustrated having to use an open end wrench. So you can see the ratchet fits in there nicely. So you can see our base is going to fit right here, and these nuts have a lot of clearance. And then I might put a shelf back here for some other things that go with the bandsaw. The next step is to lift this up by the cast iron, which is the heaviest part, sling it, and I'm going to use the shop crane for that. Then we're going to take off these front legs and then the rear axle and the rear tires. Okay, I've got some straps around it. I've got a yoke, chain. I do have it at the 1 ton, and we're going to start lifting it so I can take off the wheels and the feet and set it back on the new base we've made. It looks pretty well balanced. That's high enough. Handy multi-tool. Take these pins out, washer, tire, or wheel, pin, axle. So that's done. Now we're going to carefully loosen these up. Okay, we've gotten all those off. You can see these stems were quite long. And now we're going to try to slowly, very slowly lower this. Try to line it up on the base. There it is. So you can see it took some theatrics to get this done, but I got all 4 bolts now tight, and we can release this. And I think our mobile base is finished. All right. Let's put the coolant tank back in and check it out. Well, you can see our base works really great. It's stable, it moves around, coolant doesn't spill. The risk of it tipping over backwards when this is fully engaged vertically is way less because we have a lot of base support back here. That makes this so much safer. So I think this was a really good improvement. Basically taking part of the frame or the packing material, the pallet, if you will, the steel pallet, and bolting, cutting off those legs, drilling the 4 holes, putting in the casters, cleaning it up, painting it, and then the 4 bolts in the corners really lock this saw to this base, and it becomes really mobile. I may do something with this handle, extend it up to here, something like that. But boy, it's just a dramatic improvement of where it was, and I think it's going to really be a nice benefit long term for us. And again, 4 casters, great mobility, 1 arm pushing. It's going to be great. So thank you very much for watching. Again, Adventures with Dr. Joe. If you click subscribe and like, it's very helpful. Comments are appreciated, and I respond to every one. Again, consider using the pallet material, the steel pallet. Modify it like we said. Put the casters on it. It's going to make this dramatically easier and safer to move around in your shop. So as always, take care and thank you.